Then if you go to the Qin dynasty, we have a better example because there are terracotta warriors, right, of Qin Shi Huangdi, the first emperor who reunited the divided small kingdoms of China into one. And these are terracotta warriors. And this is one example of armor in limestone. This is excavated. So that they have a protective hat and then a protective armor, but they are sewn together with metal wire. You see here, these are metal wires. It's very heavy because they use these pieces of limestone, thin slabs of limestone woven together by the metal wire. So that is one example. And here you have, example. So this kind of example is important. So then, if they can connect the limestone slabs like this, then they could have used the leather pieces, right? They can use the leather pieces together or fabrics together. So there is a better way of doing construction, like how the garment is constructed. And then this is terracotta warriors, meaning they are made of clay and then they are baked at a low temperature. And these were created by a mold. So just like a Lego, not Lego, but Play-Doh, right? Like you have used Play-Dohs, and how do you make donuts or flowers with the Play-Dohs? You have the plastic mold, right? And then you put the Play-Doh and then open it, then it looks like that shape. So these are made by that mold. And then head is individually produced and placed in. And then hand tool. Some parts were made separately and inserted, but the large parts were just, they put the clay into a mold, human-shaped mold, and then they took it out. So that's why you can make hundreds and hundreds of those. So they were molded, and then once that they are assembled, most of the figures were fired as a single piece. Originally, they were painted. So these are armor, right? Like, so this is just pants and probably jacket underneath, and they have armor coat coming to the knee level, and they always some sort of a head scarf or headgear. And this one is a civil officer. He's not a military officer. So in his clothes, similar to the idea of sheni, right? Like you wrap it really well, the V-shaped neck, and you wrap it really well, and probably the end will come back a little bit, and then the sleeve is loose and wide. You don't show the hand. It's a full and long sleeve, so that you have that folds are created here. But this part is not certain. Originally, it should be really long, right? Like a tapered end, as we've seen in the pictorial representation. But because they are creating hundreds and hundreds of them with the mold, this part is more abbreviated. So it should be longer and flared, but it looks like a knee-length jacket, right? Then there are very different body type too. These are strong men, acrobat, so that their legs are very thick and their bellies are protruding and hard. You can see the muscular shape of their arms, and then they wear the skirt with a belt. So we don't know whether they are of Chinese bodies or not. As you can see, they were very inspired by Hellenistic sculptures. So these are new images. But with the terracotta warriors, we can see the elaborate structure of the hair. So how do men make this top knot? Originally, you have long hair and you braid them strategically, right? Like you pull up all the hair and make a braids tight, and then you make the bun over here. You probably covered your hair with some cloth. And then, so this is the idea. So originally, there were painted, and these are government ministers, like a civil officer. He has the hat, he has long robe, and then ceremonial robe. So you have some embroidered or embellished front apron, and then he has the string around his neck so that it falls down a little bit like this. So, you know, several layers of clothes, and then uniform, like some sort of corporate image for government ministers. And these are images of showing various types of hair cloth. Some are covering the back, some are, you know, short, and then upper class, they actually have a structured shaped hat. Most people just have a braided hair. So these are great examples. And this is what shows how to create that terracotta warrior in the mold. You need mold in order to make this. And the hands and head are separate, and then you bake it together. And then originally it was colored. So again, the color symbols are important. What color clothes you can wear. This is also how to distinguish different types of armies. So you have horse riders or archers, or you have foot soldiers. You have many different types of soldiers. So based on their division, clothes were also in different colors. So far, they excavated about 6,000 figures in it, but we only excavated about 1,000. They didn't excavate the remainders because there is no storage to store all of them.